I don't know that we expected two of the top defensive teams in the league to have a game that was that high scoring. I thought Temple really played well. I thought they made shots. I thought they were aggressive. I thought their game plan coming in terms of how they attacked us was something we had to adjust to. But I felt like we defended for the most part, and they made some really tough shots. And then I felt like it kind of got away from us a little bit, and we went in zone a few times and weren't able to really stop the rhythm that they were in. So that we had to make sure we stayed with them from a scoring perspective. And Chris Vogt in the first half kept us in it, and then Javen Cumberland really opened things up in the second half, and Jaron pretty much took over at the end of the game, which is what Player of the Years do. So really proud of our guys. A big time win, a tough environment as always against a really well coached, disciplined, and tonight a very powerful offensive Temple team.
What changed for Jaron in the second half?
I just think he was able to read the floor a little bit. The way they were guarding ball screens, he was able to get accustomed to it and make some adjustments on taking them on and then bringing them back and getting downhill. I think Javen hitting shots opened up some gaps because we weren't hitting shots in the first half necessarily from three, so that helped open up some gaps anytime. And I think Chris's first half helped too because they put basically a man and a half on him. So a mixture of those three things.
Did you have to, he was facilitating first, did you have to challenge him to shoot the score?
No. My challenge to our guys was, defensively in the halftime. We didn't talk at all about it. We scored 40 points, or 41 points. There was nothing to talk about offensively. So, Jaron had 1 point, but we scored 41. And it was defense. We weren't guarding. And then obviously, a guy of his talent level and his ability and understanding of the game to take over at the end is what we needed.
How hard is it to have guys keep defending when maybe they are defending well, Temple's just can't miss?
Well, I think it's hard, and we'll go back and look at the tape. But they couldn't. But I'm sure at certain spots we were culpable as well. And, we've got to do a better job. I thought our post defense was poor tonight. I thought Chris didn't do a great job of his post defense, and Duke got beat a few times underneath as well, so we got to do a better job there.
Coach, coming down the stretch, how much of a premium, how important was it to get the ball in Jaron's hands as he came down in the first 2 minutes?
Well, he wasn't going to get out of his hands. We were going to keep it in his hands as much as we could. But now that he's a point guard for us, it makes it a little bit easier. We got him off the ball and got him back with the ball in his hands. But we wanted him to be the one making the decision, whether it was an assist, whether it was a shot attempt, whatever it was. We want to make sure he was the decision maker.
It's kind of been creeping towards that Jaron point guard. Do you feel like that's that?
Well, we'll continue to look at the tape. We got several point guards, so that's one thing we have. But the way he's playing right now and the way he's facilitating, I think that's the third or fourth straight game where he's been 6+ assists. It's hard to argue that.
Was that a conscious decision to go to Chris early on because you had a size advantage, or was that something that sort of played itself out?
It was conscious. We felt like we had a size advantage up front. We felt like we had an advantage with Chris at the rim, and he's one of the top 5 field goal percentage shooter in the country. So we had an advantage a lot with him there, and so we were determined to go inside with him.
Chris Vaughn had 16 in the first half and then just 2 in the final seconds of the game. What do you think took him out of the game in the second half?
I think they did defensively. They made his catches a lot more difficult. They made our entries more difficult. But that opened up the floor for the other guys. So when you got other guys that can make plays, that helped. And so we tried to get in there, and they did a good job of taking it away.
Just 4 turnovers inside.
Yeah, that was key. The fact that we had 12 turnovers in a game against a team that's a top 20 defensive team in the country, I'm telling you, their ability to rotate defensively and be in the right spots is really impressive on tape. And for our guys to only have 4 turnovers in the second half speaks to us getting better in that area.
Was there a specific effort in the second half? We're not going to let Alani Moore get in.
Yeah, you know what? He was getting penetrates, and he does a great job moving away from the ball. So we were stunning, and then we were turning, and he would move, which is what good players do. So we're like, all right, guys, we got to shorten our gaps a little bit, quicker stunts, and recover, and have a conscientious vision of where he's at when we recover. And I thought our guys did a better job of that. Well, then Rose got it going, and Pierre Louis got it going. And once those guys got it going, it was just tough. And then their big guys got it going. So it felt like we went zone. We rarely play zone. We went 2 straight possessions to zone, got 1 stop, and then Nate hits a contested shot right in front, really hard, guy draped all over him, and our guys like, is it one of those nights? So we had to outscore them tonight instead of out-defend them.
How important is a 6-day stretch like this during conference play that you don't get very often? What are you hoping that you guys can accomplish during this time between this game and your next one?
We've got to rest up first and foremost. You know, we've had this is on our 9th straight day of basketball, and so we've got to really rest up, and we'll do that over the course of the next 2 days, and then we'll evaluate the film from the last 3 games and find out what we got to get to a bit better at. But I do think we're playing, you know, better basketball and starting to play our best basketball as we wind into the meat of the season.
Another double-double for Trey, and then kind of a 6-0 run where you took the lead, you had a couple baskets. Seems like he's a lot of times in those runs where it's rebounds and points. We seem to
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that when he plays well, we play well, and that speaks to his impact on his team. I thought during that run, he made himself available and his teammates made the plays. Like Keith Williams made a great pass on the dive dunk, a great pass. And, you know, Jaron found him a few times. And then, you know, give Trey credit, he put himself in position. So we've been working, because teams aren't guarding Trey. They're just not. They're playing off of him. So he's got to find open spots to where he can make plays.